I'm Kathleen Herles, the original voice of Dora the Explorer. And make sure to catch my interview with the awesome Taboo on Taboo's Comics and Kicks.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this beautiful day and another episode of Taboo's Comics and Kicks. So I just want to, before I go into my monologue, I want to let you guys know I saw the Michael Jackson movie and I freaking loved it. I am a kid of nostalgia. That's why I think the show is so important, because it lends itself to nostalgia, your childhood, your heroes, and people that inspire you. And today's guest has inspired me on so many levels, starting at 7 years old, being a matriarch leading the way for representation on TV and eventually getting to film. This person has done the Backyardigans. She's been part of Go Diego Go. She's from New York. She's from Queens, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm proud that I got the honor of sharing space in this animated reboot, the animated series of Dora. Ladies and gentlemen, the person I'm talking about is the original Dora, the voice of Dora. Give it up for Kathleen Herles.
Tab, I'm going to be honest. Gabby wanted to come today.
Oh, she
wanted
did?
to miss school.
That's his daughter.
My 11-year-old.
Oh, your daughter. Okay.
Yeah. She was like, Dad, can I miss school? And I'm like, you can't miss school.
I was going to ask if your daughter was going to be here. I was like, wait, no, kids are in school.
Yeah, they're in school.
Now. I'm like, no, they can't.
I mean, Dora, yeah, it's definitely an option, but you know, she did have to go to school. She gave me a book for you to sign.
Yes, which I
we'll
will,
do at
for
the
sure.
end. But I want to welcome you to our small show. And I say small because it's a mom and pop show. It's very, it's a labor of love for our appreciation for nostalgia, heroes, as I mentioned earlier. And you are a hero to us. And I told you this when we were outside. Your advocacy for the Latino community, allowing us to dream that one day we could be in animated series or we can be on film. And as a woman. And for me, I was brought up by my grandmother. So the matriarch system has always been a big, big part of my life. My wife, my daughter, Jet, you know, that's just who I advocate for and who I appreciate. So I want to start with your upbringing in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
How did your New York upbringing shape you as a performer?
So my dad, he was working in New York because when my parents both came, when they came from Peru, my mom first landed in Connecticut. But my dad had found work in Manhattan in a crazy way. He flew to the States to be with my mom to find her because they were dating back in Peru. And on the plane, the person he was sitting next to told him, hey, like, if you ever need work, call me. And he's like, oh, okay. And he couldn't find work for the longest time. And all his money was kind of running out. And he remembered that guy and called him, gave him a job in Manhattan, and he started building himself up. He started working in a kitchen
80s?
as a, 80s,
okay.
yeah. He started working in a kitchen as a dishwasher and grew his way up to being a chef all on his own. Wow. It was really crazy. So that all happened in New York.
Yeah.
My mom ended up moving into New York so we could be close to where my dad was working. But he always had an amazing work ethic, my dad. And I think for me growing up seeing that, I always appreciated that. And I always tried to apply that. Even at a young age, I could find, looking back, I could see myself always trying to go above and beyond. And when my mom started putting me in modeling and acting and pageants at a very young age, like 4 or 5.
Like toddlers and tiaras?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Without the...
Yeah. I mean, there was some, pageants and all that can brew up a lot of things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was putting in the work. My mom was pushing me because she wanted me to be great and be perfect. But I was good at it and I wanted to put in the work. I made sure I practiced my songs. I practiced my routines, and that just carried on through the rest of my life. And
Can you say that again?
yeah,
Practice.
Yes.
For those folks that are aspiring artists, young entertainers, performers, songwriters, the key is practice. So we talking about practice? We're talking about practice?
Not the game, practice.
Yes, practice. Continue.
I don't know. I've always been that way, and I still am like that today. And even being in the heart of New York, right, and just seeing all of the hustle, and I always loved that. I loved the grit, the hardworking people, like just really going after for what they wanted. Even when I was voicing Dora as a teenager, I worked at the deli down the block from my house after school because I wasn't recording all the time, but I felt like I have time. Like I want to do more. I want to make my own money. I don't want to depend on, my parents to ask them, whatever. I just always wanted to work. I always had multiple jobs at all times. And like now I don't have like all of these different things going on. So it's really taking me a time to kind of just take a step back. But I do appreciate that grit and that work ethic, not just from my dad and my family, but from New York, because I think you learn that there, and just the way that the city is, it breeds a type of a person.
I would agree with you because I visited New York, and just the grit and the grime, and it's always a hustle.
Always.
24/7. The lights are always on. There's, traffic. There's people walking. I mean, you can walk blocks and blocks for miles and miles and not ever get tired because you're just like around so much stimulation.
It's so true. Yeah.
When you first told your family you were going to be Dora, what was the reaction? That's an important one because you were 7 years old.
Yes. So I remember being in the car. I remember being in the car and my mom getting the call. And I'm trying to think if it was a cell phone or not, or how she got the call, or she got I forget.
What year
back
is
in
this?
the den.
What year
that
is
was 97. I think there
was car phones back then.
Yeah, there was car phones.
They called them car phones. Remember, it had like
I know she had a beeper for sure. Pager for sure. But we were moving around so much. So and Nickelodeon too, I think, made sure that we had a phone of some sort because they needed to get in touch with us. But whether or not the phone was in the car or whatever, she definitely got a pager or something from my manager because I remember that happening, and we were actually on our way to my grandmother's house in Connecticut. And I remember in that car, I found out that I got the part of Dora the Explorer. And my mom was telling me, obviously she's getting the news. And I'm like, what? Like, what's happening? Because she's like, no, she's freaking out a little bit, like whatever. So when she told me, then I kind of got excited. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I don't think I really knew what was happening.
Yeah, because it was just a pilot, right? It was
initially a pilot, but I also was new into the industry of acting. I did pageants and modeling, and in that sense, right, you do get awards, and you find out if you're going to be the winner, or second place, or third place. So I had those experiences of, did I get it? Did I not get it? Where did I place? So getting that news, I wonder if my younger self was like, oh, okay, I got first place. I won. So I got it. But I don't know if it was much more than that. I don't know how much I really understood at 7 years old, the gravity of what was actually happening. Like I knew it was Nickelodeon, and I loved Nickelodeon. Like we would go to Universal Studios and see the old Nickelodeon studios that were there in Orlando. So I knew it was a big deal because of the network. It was like all that. And what Gullah Gullah Island. That's right. That was my show. I love that show. So yeah, I knew the network. But I didn't know, because it was the pilot. So we really didn't know much else at the time.
And the fact that you saw the work ethic, like you experienced it, whether you understood it or not, the fact that your dad started as a dishwasher, in turn becoming the chef, because now it's like chefs they actually have to go to culinary school, and there's got to be there's this process and this protocol.
Yeah.
But the fact that he got the opportunity to do that. So you saw the hustle to get to the main show, which is being the chef of the restaurant. I think that inspiration, whether you understood it or not, was so focused in your family that, they were pushing you to do modeling and because they saw something in you, whether it's being cute or like the fact that you were good on stage. There's something that our parents see. I want to know more about that relationship with your family, because that's important before we go into the meat and potatoes of Dora.
For sure.
What were those drives like when you would go to auditions and the conversations with your family?
Yeah. My dad, being in the restaurant business, he wasn't around too much just because he was working constantly. My mom wasn't working. She was taking care of me and my brother. I have an older brother, 4 years older. And when she would prep me, she basically taught me how to read. Maybe I learned in school, but she definitely made sure I knew how to read well.
Right.
So we were always practicing like with scripts and even with pageants, right? You're going into these rooms by yourself with adults and answering questions, right? Doing the interview process and knowing how to read and understanding and comprehending words, right? Is a huge to be able to answer anything, by yourself. So I just remember her always sitting down with me, making sure, one, I was doing my homework and everything, but reading and really comprehending what I was reading was a huge thing that I thank my mom for doing, because I think that really did help me succeed and be as successful as I was in the business for sure. So I definitely saw that with my mom too. She wasn't physically working a job at the time, but she put in the time with us, with me and my brother, and made sure and sat down with me to make sure that I was being the best that I could be.
Can we say, can we give the flowers to the women that actually are taking their kids? Like, for example, my wife, she has a full-time job, being a mother, being a caregiver, all the things that my wife is doing. I know what I do when I perform or, I'm doing my podcast, but I have to give flowers to your parents, your mom, the fact that it's a job.
It's a job.
If you're doing it right, it's a job.
If
It's a
you're doing
job,
it
right?
Yeah,
Right?
because
If you're
you're
really
like-
making the sacrifice.
You're making the sacrifice. You're putting your life on pause so that your kid can have that opportunity.
Yes.
So it's the work is sweat equity, time, patience, understanding, mindfulness, empathy, all the stuff that comes with that.
She actually did end up working a few years later, so she was juggling all of that too. I had gotten cast already, so I was doing Dora most of the time, but I remember a time where she was working like a corporate job, and then my brother, I would go into the city alone with my brother sometimes.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of balancing things, but they made it work for sure.
So speaking about Dora, recording in 1997 in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, so now in the 2026 world, it's Pro Tools. When we go into a studio, we record on Pro Tools. In 1997, when you went into that studio, what was it like? What was the vibe and the energy of recording your first time doing the pilot for Dora?
So I don't know if I remember the first time. What I remember to be first was when the whole cast was together and we were recording the theme song. But it wasn't the first time I've ever recorded, because with social media, I completely forgot about the pilot, and the theme song was different. So that must have been separate that I don't remember. I don't remember those times.
Do you remember the original theme song?
From the pilot? No, I didn't remember it until I saw it like a few months ago. And I was like, oh
Somebody
my goodness,
posted it?
somebody posted it.
Wow.
How does it go?
I don't even remember. I only saw it that once. We could probably clip it in right here.
I'm like, that's
I'll send it to
interesting.
you. But I mean, not completely different, but different enough where it was like, oh, okay, that's different. But I remember recording the one that we all know and love with the entire cast. And I just remember just having fun, like just being a kid. Everyone else was around my same age, whether the same age or, similar. So we would all just have a good time. And that was the last time, just because it was just so chaotic. But I thought that was so fun just to have all the kids together, taking turns going into the booth, singing parts of the song. And it was just a great, I have so many great memories of that, like being in the booth. And then after, we did have a booth director, voice director, one of them being one of the main creators, Chris Gifford, who was really with us in the booth and helping us with energy and making sure that, we were being playful and just giving it our best. He was great.
So you sang with the kids.
Yeah.
You had already saw your
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, what was that feeling when you saw Dora for the first time? You're like, that's the character I'm playing? Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so there was another time before that. Shortly after I got cast, so I got that phone call where I met other people that were cast in the show, and they showed us our characters. They showed us like pictures. And it's so funny because people ask me all the time, did they draw Dora after you got cast or before? Because a lot of people say that like, I kind of look like her. which I can see, but then I also can't see because I have curly hair and she has like a completely different haircut. But it was definitely before, because once I got cast, like not a week later, they were showing me all of these images that they have already drawn of her.
Right.
So they already knew like what she was going to look like. And I remember sitting down, I forget who I was sitting down with, but they were showing me the images and I just thought like she was the cutest. She was just like such a cute character, someone that I've never seen before like that on TV. And I just remember being very excited to play her.
What's dope is the fact that that was the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we saw a bilingual animated series where you actually got to learn Spanish or Spanglish, because she was talking English and she would relay a Spanish word and she would, teach you about that word. And for me as a Latino, Native American, Mexicano, it was pride. 1997, Black Eyed Peas, we're in the underground world, but Dora, as a fan of Nickelodeon myself, I saw what it meant to kids.
Yeah.
And
Huge.
Even now in 2026, what it means to even non-Latinos, kids that embrace the animated series and have grown with it in generations.
Yeah.
I want to really tap into that feeling for you, because you went from a 7-year-old to now, when we did the reboot, you played the mom. Yeah. Which is powerful. They're like, no, we want to keep you in the mix. We love what you did as a kid, how you voiced Dora, but we want to keep you in the mix. And now you're Dora's mom. Yeah. What was that feeling for you?
I feel like I say it all the time. It was such a full circle moment, but in reality, it really was. And I know I was telling you a little bit before,
right?
But it was so healing for me in so many ways, because throughout my life, and being Dora is like half of my life, I went through so many different, I don't know how to really put this. So I felt like there was a lot of waves in my life and how I felt in being Latina, or if I was Latina enough, or
same.
All of these different things, right? With your identity and who you are. And a lot of that started with being Dora. So to go back to it in a different way, right? Playing her mom. But I remember going back in the booth for the first time and I just kind of felt a wave of emotions. And I couldn't help but like start to cry. And I didn't know I needed that. And then shortly after, I started doing conventions and meeting people who grew up with the show and hearing their stories and see how impactful she was. Because I didn't know the gravity of the show and how she was still so impactful today, right? Like 20-something years later. We didn't have social media growing up, so I never posted about Dora, who I was. Nobody knew anything. So when I was doing conventions, I started posting because they told me, hey, people need to know who you are, where they can find
Associate
you.
the face with the voice.
And I was like, okay, like I don't think people care, And I just started posting because I was like, oh, whatever. If only 3 people see it, doesn't matter. And it was completely the opposite. So many people were commenting and sharing their stories like, oh my goodness, like I loved you growing up. I cut my hair like Dora. Like all of these crazy things, right?
That's cool.
And I just remember reading it and I'm like, wow. Yeah. Like I had no idea. And I think as a kid looking back, right? I kind of suppressed all of that. And I didn't share that part of my life really with anyone for many reasons. And to be back now as an adult and see things differently and to be able to be open and share that with so many people like around the world, it's been so freeing. And
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And to be able to be like, hi, like I was the original voice of Dora, like confidently and proud to say that. It's taken me a long time to do that.
I can definitely relate with what you said earlier about identity, because I struggled for many years having to prove that I was Mexican enough and Native enough, because it was like you grow up in the States. Sometimes you lose your identity because you're like a mixed kid trying to learn about your roots and your ancestry, but I don't have a connection to Mexico. So it's like, wait, how do I maneuver, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I spent so many years trying to prove, hey, I'm Mexican. Look at my Mexican flag. Hey, I'm Native American. Look at my, because I was so not sure of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I battled with my identity
Mm-hmm.
because it just like you get lost in translation. It gets
Sure.
lost in your own, your inadequacy to feel confident.
Yes.
And you lose exactly what you said, suppression.
Mm-hmm.
You suppress that feeling of like, wait, I'm proud of both cultures. And I'm proud that I can represent, when people see me on that stage, they see the turquoise, they see the fact that I could speak Spanish and I'm maneuvering in that space. But I learned how to appreciate those moments and how to become a better version, learning, how to speak Spanish when I go to Colombia and have different, accents and different dialogue from when I go to Mexico. There's just all these things that I needed to learn for myself because we have people looking at us.
Yeah.
And seeing the wins, but also seeing our flaws and our imperfections because people love that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And having enough humility to be like, hey, like I don't know everything about it, but I'm a student and I want to continue getting better and be a better example because I know there's kids watching me. I know there's kids that are inspired and want to learn and feel the same inadequacy and feeling not enough.
Yes, for sure. Because we're human, right?
Exactly.
We have, and when we tell people like really who we are, it's just more genuine.
Yeah.
And even right with speaking Spanish, everyone has a reason why they speak it and why they don't speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And it always goes back to the family because
Yeah.
we all grow up our worlds being our family. So the way that we are, it goes back to that.
Exactly.
So the judgment or the shame that goes to the person that doesn't speak it or speaks it, whatever, like it's just not, I feel like it doesn't make sense. And we don't go back to the person, and it doesn't take away from where they're from, where their families are from. Like we are who we are.
Exactly.
And we're just trying to make the best of our lives. And it's weird because you grow up with your family and you're connected to your culture in a way that maybe you're not yourself pushing yourself to be a part of your culture, right? Because your culture is just your culture. It's your family. Like for me, my family's Peruvian. I just grew up around that. The food, the language, going to Peru every year. Like that was my life. And then to be told that, oh, no, you're not Latina enough or you're not Peruvian enough because you're not 100% fluent. Well, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who became the gatekeeper to all this?
I don't know. But,
Right,
but
it doesn't make
see, that
sense.
comes
I
from
don't get it.
intergenerational trauma, to your point about our parents. Maybe in the time that they grew up, like my mom's from the 70s, right?
Yeah.
It was frowned upon to, like, oh, you're a wetback if you spoke Spanish. Like, wait, no, but I'm proud of my roots.
Right.
Hey, you're mojado. Like, that was the vibe back then.
Yes.
It was like criticized.
Damn, people really called you that? Mojado? People really called you that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Because if you spoke Spanish, and so you run away from it because you're like, wait, I'm not that. I'm American. Right?
Right.
Well, you're young. You're trying to fit
young,
in.
you're trying to like be cool and like it's dumb because at the end of the day, like be proud of who you are. And yes, I flex like a peacock. I know that. And my kids have said it like, dude, like, my dad is the guy that's wearing his culture on his sleeve, literally. But that's my personality. I am the extrovert. I am that person that's prideful. And I do want to represent. And I felt like growing up that I spent so much time trying to prove.
Yeah.
When I didn't have shit to prove, excuse my language, I just needed to be that person that was prideful and could lead by example. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not going to know everything about it, but it's okay because I want to continue learning and educating myself and being a student of different cultures. And I think that's why Black Eyed Peas has been so amazing because I got to learn about Filipino culture from Apple. I got to learn about, Black culture from Will. He grew up in the Mexican community. So we had this cultural exchange that allowed Black Eyed Peas to flourish, even with Fergie, like learning about her roots and being a white girl of with Mexican descent, but also being from Rolling Heights. It just brought this energy of a mosaic of cultural representation.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Dora represents.
Yes, I agree with you. And just going back really quickly to what you said about in the 70s, you can see it in history. It goes back and forth. Like, okay, speak Spanish, don't speak Spanish, speak Spanish. And so then you're like, all right, I'm just not going to say anything at all, But it is beautiful that, and I think what you said makes sense. When you see people come together and be unified and do something so special,
Exactly.
that's where the magic is. That's where the impact is. And that's why it resonates with so many people. And I think that was one of the main reasons with Dora too. And it was smart. I thought that they made Dora pan-Latina, right? She wasn't from a specific country. But at the time, that was important because I think we, as a community, we all needed to unify together to really start to create some change in a way. And I think Dora started that because I was telling you a little bit before, but when I would do these family events as a kid through Nickelodeon, it wasn't just Latinos coming to meet me and tell me how much they love Dora. It was so many other cultures, so many other communities that felt like, okay, if they can put this little brown girl she's Latina and be the main character and they can do that for her and her community, then they could do that for us.
Yeah.
And it meant something to so many people. And I think that's why it was so special.
97, when you first started doing this, there was no Comic-Con, right?
No.
Those were like different type of festivals.
Yeah, we did
like,
Latina book and family festivals.
Okay.
That's what they were called. And they kind of were around the States. I remember doing one in Houston, I think Dallas, Minneapolis. There was one here in LA too. There was like a few around that we would do.
And it was different animated series or just?
No, I think it was just catered to families and kids. And I would go and sign books. But I've met other celebrities there too. I remember at one of them I met El Chavo del Ocho.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, he was there. I have a picture with him.
That's really
so
cool.
I don't remember how they created these events, but I do remember that's what it was called.
That's classic.
Yeah.
Because I think of how far you've come to starting from that, like the family and friends signings to where we're at now with the cons and the different meet and greets.
Yeah.
And just how generational the appreciation for the character and the overall animated series has become.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of like the time period when you started. How did Dora influence who you are today?
I think in a lot of ways, and maybe in ways that I don't even realize yet, because I got cast as Dora at 7 years old, and I was her voice until I was 18. Which is basically my childhood.
Can we get a freaking round of applause from 7 to 18? How many seasons is that?
So that was only 4 seasons because of the way that they would release them.
3 years.
It's really wild.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yes. So which every time I say that on social media, they're like, well, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, just wait.
Listen.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
I want to hear this story.
The way they released the seasons was almost like one season, 26 episodes would air within like a year and a half plus because they were airing the same show, the same episode multiple times in a week.
Okay.
Because they felt the repetition would help kids learn. So they did a lot of research. They had a team, I remember, that was always doing research with kids and making sure that what they were putting out was actually helping and teaching kids things.
And that was before streaming, ladies and gentlemen. So that means that you have to watch it on Nickelodeon. It's not like you can watch it on YouTube or watch it on, other streaming services.
Yeah. Well, through Nickelodeon, I think they do post them videos on YouTube now, but it's...
No, but back then.
Oh, back then. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, you had to watch it on cable, on Nickelodeon.
So you had to tune in every week to make sure that next week you watch the next episode.
Yeah. So, that's how it worked. So after, and then you have your hiatus in between the seasons. So overall, it just took a long time. And then we had our special hour episodes on top of that. But I felt like we were always doing something. I did all the voice for the games, the toys, the games on computers, for the consoles. We did so much. Yeah.
All right. So speaking about that.
Hopefully they paid you accordingly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting in.
Yeah. No,
I'm getting into that zone.
Because I know it's changed.
Yeah.
But I was in that time where they were paying the voice actor that was doing all of the toys and the merch.
Yeah.
But now I know it's different.
It is. Because now
it's not great.
the royalty of actually being part of the merchandising because it's like your voice, your likeness. Well, not your likeness, but your
or they cast someone else to do the voice for the merch. Yeah.
Because that's a viable business when you talk about merchandising for such a big entity like Dora throughout the years. I mean, celebrating how many years? 20?
It was 25 last year.
25 years, right?
Wild.
25 years, B.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
That's like, I mean, there's a couple of TV
it hit both my daughters. My older daughter's
That's
20.
what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
It hit her and it hit my younger daughter, 11. So they treated it differently. Gabby, my younger, for sure, was more of like, and she liked that one. And there's another show that she watched, and I'm blanking on it, but yeah. And then my older daughter was like Dora and SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah. SpongeBob was great. Yeah.
And can never go wrong with SpongeBob.
I mean, Nickelodeon was, and still, I mean, I always think of when we grew up, it was you can't do that on television and all that and all the stuff that was part of that time. And even Nick at Night, when you see the old Gilligan's Island and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Were you around to see the evolution of like filming on set to?
No. So I like born and raised in New York.
Yeah.
We did all the recording sessions were in New York. Most of the cast, I think all of the cast was also in New York, New Jersey. So we never really came to LA or saw any production on set.
Okay.
I never crossed really paths with anyone or executives that worked on camera. The only times would be, well, there was actually only one time I did an upfront for Nickelodeon where they, tell the executives all the new things that are happening or kind of all the what's coming next or the numbers, all of these like random things. But that was in New York, and I was mixed in with all of the on-screen actors at the time.
Yeah.
And I was the only one there for voiceover. And I thought, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then I also felt like out of place because I was in this room with all of these on-camera actors.
Right.
I mean, young, but then me, the voice actor over here, no one knows who I am. So that was the only time where I was ever like in a room with them.
Right.
And I felt so out of place. So, but Dora was huge on Nickelodeon, even as an animated show. And then SpongeBob came right after.
Another huge titan.
Yeah. And then we're coming off of the tales from Blue's Clues. So
Shout
it really
out to Blue's Clues.
shout out to Blue's Clues. I really think they were and I know that they were the ones that were the pioneers of engaging with the person on the other side.
Breaking the fourth wall, right?
And inviting you,
Yeah.
hey, help me do this. Let's go here. Let's do this together. And I think that's where it really all started with Blue's Clues.
That's dope because the adventures of, I don't know if it was catered to preschool or kids that were 5 to 8 years old, but it really told a story about how adventure and being able to speak to the kids and have the kids respond when you're watching on television and have your kid respond in Spanish. Even if you don't speak Spanish, you want to, you want to be involved. I think about the fact that Dora was something that was the first job that my daughter, Jet, had experienced. We were very blessed to be part of the new animated series along with you. When I got the call to do to become Quickatoo, I was like, man, I'm going to be a character on Dora.
Yeah.
Like this is a blessing.
Yeah. Was that your first animated character?
It was.
That's so cool.
It was because I had been on Blue's Clues, the movie, and it was fun because I got to play myself and I got to be part of this Nickelodeon world. But then to be able to be part of this animated series and then to know that I was going to be working with you, even though we never shared screen time together, just your journey and your experience. And I know I would see you post on Instagram, and when we posted Melodia, like you would respond to it. And it just felt good to have your support because you were the leader for us, and you are the leader. You led the dance in 1997, and you continue the journey in 2024, whenever that was released. What was your thought about like the fact that they did a reboot in the 2020s?
Yeah. at first I was like, wow, I'm so old. Like the time I was like, was it really that long ago? Because for me, it was so much of my life. And I was like, wait, what? Because I remember I got an audition first for Issa. That's the first audition I got in.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, they're doing a Dora reboot? I didn't submit for it. But then I got the audition to be her mom. And that really intrigued me. And I was like, I would love if I were to come back to the franchise or to this show, because I didn't want to be Dora. I knew like that was my time when I was younger. And I'm so supportive, and I love how there's so many Doras out there. And even Diana, who did Dora on this new show, like she's incredible and she's
all the
amazing.
Stuff you did with her was dope. Like the social media stuff, that was cool.
And she's great. So I knew I didn't want to come back and be Dora. So to be able to see myself back in the show as Dora's mom and play a trick like in my mind, like, no, I'm really Dora grown up and this is my daughter who's also Dora, kind of like an Inception type of way. I was like, that would be really cool. I would love to do that. And then they said, they cast me, and I just remember I was working for a private interior design firm because I was working corporate at the time. And I got the call while I was sitting at my desk. And I just remembered being like, wow, this is crazy. Like 2 times I'm getting to be a part of this amazing world, this franchise that has changed my life, but also I know so many other people. I was like, this is so cool. And I just felt so like blessed. I was like, this doesn't happen all the time.
Because of the success of Dora, did you ever get a chance to negotiate having a stake in your character? Or is Nickelodeon owns everything? They just, right?
I don't really know. Maybe my agents or my management at the time did. Obviously, it didn't go anywhere if they did. But I'm not sure who owns the rights, whether it's Nickelodeon or someone else. Because I remember I went to the Nickelodeon resort in Mexico, in Riviera Maya. Yeah. It's awesome. But there's no Dora merch. And I remember asking one of the workers, I was like, hey, like, where's all, because they have Dora statues and Dora pictures everywhere. And they have the character there, but there's no merch. And I was like, what happened? I know there was merch, so much merch.
Of course.
And they said someone owns it and will not give it up for the resort. So I don't really know how that works. Because Nickelodeon, I know they're very involved with the resort. So I'm not really sure who owns Dora's.
The reason why I asked you that is because we had an amazing guest, Walter Jones from Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Loved talking to him, loved learning about his journey about, being the first, not only Black Ranger, but first Black superhero on television at that time. And when the negotiation came up for the movies, he was like, wait, we're putting all this work, like we're really out there becoming, the pillars and the workhorses for Power Rangers. They need to pay us the way that we've been, evolving. But they didn't step to the plate like that, so we walked away from it. Was there ever a moment that you felt like you weren't getting treated right?
No, never. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I know, like, my representation fought for me for what they also thought was appropriate for me being, I think like a legacy type of person. So yeah, I think I never felt that way. So, but also I'm like the type of person which people have to tell me to stop being like, I'll do whatever for, I'll be like, I'll do it for free. It's fine. Cause I just love, I don't know, being a part of things and just doing, I don't know, random things. I love doing whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm not even explaining myself right, but you know what I mean?
It's cool to see how you're, because, like watching you go to Disneyland and how you get giddy and all the ways that you are narrating.
I'm such a nerd.
It's cool because I feel the same way. I used to work at Disneyland.
Stop it.
Yeah,
really?
In 1994, 95, I was a custodial worker.
Okay, cool.
And then I started my group, the Peas, in 95.
That's amazing.
So I was working at Disneyland and then pursuing my dreams with the Black Eyed Peas in 95. And I always get giddy when I go to Disneyland because I remember my humble beginnings. Yeah. So seeing your blogs or whatever, your your narration of going and seeing how excited you are. It's really dope.
It's not so humble now when you guys start putting your credit card out.
Right?
I know.
Right?
It's $38 for a churro.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Those churros are bomb though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everything, but they used to be like $3.
I know, dude.
I know.
It's
but
crazy.
then the merch is just so good. That's where they get
You
me.
got to get a
with the
loan to go
merch.
to Disneyland.
Have you been to the other Disneys around the world?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been to Tokyo twice.
Tokyo Seas. Yep.
Sick. It's
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Next on our list is to hit Shanghai and Hong Kong.
Been there.
Have you? It's so great.
I've been blessed with the P's to be able to take time for my touring schedule. If I'm in those cities,
And
I'm
explore.
like, guys, I need to go explore Disneyland. So
Yeah.
they already know this is the day we're going to do
That's
that.
so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We need to go to Disneyland.
I know, that'll be dope.
So fun.
Your leadership and be like, hey,
Yeah.
the way you blog about it and the way that you narrate is really cool.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I have such an appreciation for not just the animation, but even the art of it all. And maybe it's because I grew up in it. But even my family, that's where my parents' honeymoon was, at Disney World. Because, when you're from another country out of the States, like you see Disney World and that's like, no, I need to go there when I go over there.
It's like the American standpoint of success, huh?
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and then our yearly family trips would be going down to Orlando and doing Disney World and doing Universal. So for me, being able to go back, because Dora was a part of Universal, huge, like back in the day. And Nickelodeon would always hook it up for me and give us passes and do all that stuff. And for me, that was like my moment of like, I made it.
Yeah.
I get my fast pass
That's
for
dope.
free.
I love
Like
that. That's great.
And they really hooked it up. So I love that. And seeing Dora, there was so much merch and at the park for Dora. And then they had the character there. I think she's still there, maybe. But that for me was like, wow, I'm in a theme park.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
I made it.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite episodes? Because I love the episode we did around the song for Poppy. And I'm not being biased because it was the first time that my daughter and I collaborated on a song, Melodia. But it was so cool because I saw representation of girl dad on an animated
It's beautiful,
series.
for sure.
It felt great to continue that legacy that the late Kobe Bryant was very huge on.
Yeah.
And now to be able to transition that same philosophy and the idea of these two birds, the dad and the daughter, singing this song with Dora and creating an opportunity for Dora to connect with her dad.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode?
So before I say that, I will just say something about what you just said. Another thing that I appreciate about the reboot so much was that the parents were so much more involved.
Yeah.
And that relationship was explored more. And especially the father-daughter relationship. It was just so beautiful to see because you don't see that often.
Yeah.
And with Dora's mom, just the dynamics between that relationship, I really appreciated in the reboot, which was something different from the original show because the parents in the original were there, but not really there. And they would show up kind of randomly. But my favorite episode, now I go back to Disney for a second, and I say this all the time, but it wasn't a secret with Nickelodeon. Like they knew, like, I'm working for Nickelodeon, but like Disney, I'm going to go tomorrow, like right there. They knew how much I love Disney. And my last episode, or it was in season 4, there was an episode that they wrote. It was called Dora's Fairy Tale Adventure. And Dora becomes a princess and is basically in her own Disney-esque type of world. So for
I actually
me,
did the songs for that.
Did you
on
really?
YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube shorts. I did the songs
No
for
way.
that. Yeah.
So we also did a bunch of albums, all of our special episodes. Like they're all on Apple.
Spotify.
Yeah, and Spotify, all these things. And there was one, I'll go to that album later. But so Dora's Fairy Tale Adventure, all of the songs were great. And it was my time to be a princess. And it was the most beautiful thing. Because to me, I was like, oh, maybe this is their love letter to me. If they
That's
knew
dope.
how much I love Disney. And that was kind of like one of my last episodes. So I just have so many great memories. I loved singing the songs. And I don't know, there's this one, I sing it often, but my favorite part, so funny story. So my favorite scene in this episode,
Yeah.
I am in front of these giant rocks and I have to get the giant rocks to sing. with a music box. I recently found out before the reboot that the voice of the Rocks is Puppy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how crazy is
that's
that?
Cool.
So like now to come back and then be like
full circle.
Yeah, full circle. But the part is here's a magic music box. If you lay them near these rocks, boingy, 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 bing, we'll get these rocks to sing. And then he goes boingy, 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 bing. Yeah. He does this whole thing. But I don't know why. Like I just love that part of the episode. And the whole thing was just great. But I also loved to do the albums and to sing. And there was one, Dora Goes Around the World to share friendship bracelets. I did songs. I was on tracks. I never met them, but with like Ziggy Marley and so many other people. I'm blanking now.
Collaborated with Dora?
Collaborated with Dora. And we did a song. We did Gloria Estefan's song, I think. We covered that song. Like we did covers. We were on tracks with other artists. Like it was just so cool. There were so many opportunities.
You need
it was
to do
great.
your own album. You need to pursue your music career. You have an amazing voice. Yes, I know that Nickelodeon owns Nick Jr. Nickelodeon. They own those songs, but you should step into because your voice is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you only heard like a little snippet, but I know you have a good ear.
I've heard the songs.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about the music business besides the acting world? You're amazing.
Thank you.
Right, B?
Thanks. I don't know. I think that's where I get I get insecure with singing. I love to sing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Ooh.
What do you sing in the shower or the car? Like,
this is hard.
I like
why?
that.
Because I love music. Obviously, grew up with music. Actually, my cousins have a very big influence on the music that I grew up listening to. They were very like alternative, like rock, and so I grew up listening to a lot of that. Gospel music and Christian music too. Like we grew up going to church, so I always like have a connection with that music, and I love singing that as well. I grew up singing in church, but lately, so when normal people listen to music, they have it in the background while they're doing chores and things like that. I normally like to put on like a show or a movie. Something that I've seen in the background. Yeah. Even when I used to work in corporate, like at my desk, and I had headphones in, I wasn't listening to music. I was listening to a show or a movie. So, and this has been for like the past, like maybe like 10 years or so. So I feel like my music knowledge is kind of like non-existent.
She's beating around the question. The question was, what do you sing to? This whole long story to tell us not what song she's singing.
All right, I'm going to keep it in the music world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it here.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you names and you choose one name. You choose one that speaks to you more.
Okay.
Selena or
Selena.
Beyonce?
Selena. I remember dancing to her album in my pageant outfit in my kitchen all day.
What song would you sing?
Como la flor. Bidi bidi bam bam.
Como la flor.
Con tanto amor.
Tanto amor.
Woo! Keep it going.
Me diste tú. All right, that's it.
That was good. That was good.
Bro.
Thanks for playing along.
Right.
Thanks for playing
Exactly.
along.
All right, so Selena, Beyonce.
Selena's great, yeah.
Prince, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael.
Let's watch that movie. I said it in my
Oh, did
I
you see
haven't
it?
watched
I
it.
saw it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I love it.
Don't spoil it.
For all those haters that are disagreeing with me, it's okay. I still love you too. Where's the love? It's right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But I have to say the music, the nostalgia, 80s, off the wall. I mean, Thriller, you can't go wrong.
No, I know. He was iconic. Man. Classic.
Okay, being from Queens,
Yeah.
Mobb Deep or Nas?
I'm not familiar with their music too well, but I
Okay.
would just pick Nas just because I know his name more.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I know my husband's probably judging me for that answer, but that's fine. I won't.
It's cool.
I won't tell him.
Madonna, Lady Gaga.
Madonna.
Yeah.
That's what I
I think it's going to be asking 80s kid. They're going to go younger. You know what I mean? They're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah. I mean, I love all of Lady Gaga's music is great. I just remember, I guess maybe for my mom, she used to listen to all the greats back then. And, you always look up to your parents and like, what are they listening to?
You know what I find interesting about speaking on this topic? Like Coachella, when you go, Like the way they get their big moments is nostalgia. Like Madonna comes out, performs with whoever she performed with recently, and
Sabrina
like
Carpenter, I think she
it's
did,
Sabrina
right?
Carpenter, yeah. So it's like they kind of use nostalgia to create their moments.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's been built on, and who you're bringing out. People are always looking, who are they bringing
Who
out?
are they bringing out? Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even when Tupac came resurrected with Dre and Snoop,
Oh, the hologram?
the hologram.
Yeah.
So
that was like
crazy.
the biggest moment in Coachella history.
Yeah.
All right.
It's wild.
Tupac or Biggie?
Oh,
Oh, man.
that's a good one.
So I watched the documentary and I didn't know a lot of the history and what was going on behind the scenes. And from what I saw, and I don't know much, so please don't come for me. I just don't feel like it's right for me to choose one or the other because I think they really tried to come together, and they weren't after each other.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think they were both pioneers of what they were doing on both coasts. And it's kind of sad that kind of got ruined.
Yeah, I know. I would agree.
Yeah.
The Lion King song or the Aladdin song?
Lion King. And that's my husband's favorite Disney movie is The Lion King. But Lion King 2 has really great music.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you have to watch it. Some of the songs in
Is that with Beyonce?
No. It was back in the day, yeah. And even some of those songs are incorporated in the Broadway play.
I love the Broadway. Have you seen that, B?
The Lion King Broadway? No,
Yeah.
You should take your daughter to that. That one
Yeah.
Is it here in LA right now?
I'm not sure,
I'll have to
but
check
it's
it out.
really dope.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it? Amazing.
You know which one I
yeah.
love the most out of all the Broadway plays I've seen to date? In the Heights.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
seen that,
It's so
but yes,
good, bro.
that's where
It's so good.
oh my goodness, what's his first name? His last name is Ramos.
Anthony
Ramos.
Yeah, love that
I think
guy.
that was
Yeah.
his.
Your first.
Yeah,
Um,
or his big where he got noticed from that show. I think, or that. I'm sorry. Woo,
yeah,
that Broadway musical, and then I think he was in the movie too.
yeah. Musicals. Broadway. Excuse me. Wicked or Hamilton.
I haven't seen Hamilton,
Okay.
and I love Wicked, and so I'm going to pick Wicked.
Okay.
But I refuse to see Hamilton on a streaming
Yeah, you
platform.
gotta see him, yeah.
I have to see it first in person
The
before I
feeling,
even do that.
Right?
Huh?
It's about that feeling.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you see it live.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the Michael Jackson Broadway show and it blew me away.
Oh, I heard it was really
It
good.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, B?
Which one?
The Michael Jackson Broadway show?
I haven't. The only one I've seen of Michael would be his
Vegas?
the Cirque du Soleil show that he did in Vegas. That's the only one I've seen so far.
Okay.
Which was good. It was
Yeah.
good. That was good. I think it's called One, right? One.
I think it is
I
one.
think it's called One. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called One.
When you sang I'm the Map, did you realize how fans would adore Map?
No, I didn't sing that.
Oh, you didn't see
No.
that? I thought it was
so
you.
that was the Mark Wiener, who was the voice of the Map and the voice of Swiper.
Okay.
Who was still the voice of Swiper
Right.
when we did the reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sang that song.
Map was like
Huge.
huge. People
Yeah.
adored it.
Yeah.
Right?
And he sang the same song every episode.
He had to
That's
re-sing
what I'm
it.
saying.
He had to re-sing it every time.
They replayed this. I don't know. People.
They couldn't just hit record and do it once.
No, yeah, I'm sure they did, but it played in every episode. So the viewer heard the
How does
same
it go? I haven't heard that
song.
one in a while. You remember?
I'm the map, 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 I'm the map.
Just
I'm the
repeats it the whole time.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
and
that's
then
it.
And then the backpack record
The
goes.
same thing.
Backpack, backpack. It's repetitive.
Backpack. I'm the backpack.
There was no
loaded
lyrics
up
to
with
it. I don't think I ever really paid
Well,
attention
backpack
to
has a few lyrics.
It
She goes,
does.
yeah.
I
I'm the
mean,
backpack loaded up with things.
We
in
cheated a
next
couple
to
times
it.
with something like that. Boom, boom, boom. Got to get that boom, boom, boom. Got to get that boom, boom, boom.
So
That's it.
so would you say you were influenced by Dora?
I wouldn't say that. But we had something very monotonous where it's not like words.
Yeah, well, when you have something catchy
Yeah.
and to repeat it, because
Yeah.
people like, it's easier to be like, oh, that's so good. I can just repeat
Exactly.
it. And you just vibe with it instead of having to say like 20 words
Exactly.
and memorizing
Agreed.
like all of that. Yeah.
What's your when you think about songs, what's the song that sticks out that inspired your childhood? And I'll tell you what mine is.
Like inspired me how?
Like just like the song that reminds you of your childhood.
So there's a song by Los Adolescentes.
Mhm.
Oh, what's the name of the song? I'm totally blanking. We have to look it up.
Okay.
But there's a song there that and it's a lot of salsa music because, I don't know, as New Yorkers, we're always in the car.
Did people think you were Puerto Rican in New York?
Yes.
Right.
And they invited me to the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm not Puerto Rican. But I did go up there, but people did think.
Yeah.
And my best friend is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
But a lot of my childhood memories with music is being in the car with my dad, listening to salsa and using the dashboard as like his drums and doing like all these random
Of course.
things.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
Tito Puentes, like
Celia Cruz.
Celia Cruz. Yeah. He
Carnaval.
loved, like, and just, even though like I'm not a dancer, but that salsa, like that music just like, I don't know, evokes like an emotion, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's pride for your culture. And in college, I almost minored in Latin American studies. I'm one class away.
What college did you go to?
Pace University in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of music and salsa is there's so much history there. And
for sure.
I learned so much, and it just made me appreciate all of, salsa and music and all of that.
That's why I was glad, speaking about salsa, I was glad that Bad Bunny tapped into that with his new record and what he did at the Super Bowl.
Yes. Tears. I mean, it was incredible what he did. And then seeing Ricky Martin up there.
Yeah, that was dope.
That's your nostalgia.
But you see what I'm saying? They had to find a way to bring it full circle for the audience at home. So they brought in Ricky Martin. You saw, and then there was
and he looked so great. Like, how does he look?
Like Jessica Alba was in one of the scenes, right? She was dancing.
Oh yes, and his house. Like there was a bunch of
the
people.
House, right?
Yeah, his
Do you
casita.
guys think that kids today will have the same core memories we do? Like you mentioned, riding in the car with your dad, and that was like a core memory for you, like being with your dad. Do you think maybe our kids will, because I know me and Tab as fathers, we're super involved with our kids, especially our girls. Do you think that's going to be a core memory for a lot of kids these days? Is having that same, or like, what will their core memories be? Like Roblox?
I think because
Social
the
media?
technology has become
that's what I'm saying.
It'll be different. For
it's
sure.
it's the way they connect,
Like with their parents. Like what will be like your core memory with your dad is cruising with your pops.
Yeah.
Your core memory with your grandmother's what? Tab.
being in the living room, dancing, watching her expression and her love for me as a performer, and encouraging, listening to music, watching old, Fred Astaire movies, and watching old Three Stooges, stuff that we would just put on TV.
Yeah.
And that you only had like 13 channels. There was no cable back then. This is the 79, 80.
Wow.
That's when me and my grandmother were like, that's the memory that I remember. Her sitting in the living room from Los Angeles, California, give it up for Jimmy Gomez. And I would be performing in her living room.
Yeah.
And her smile was the thing that, hey, my grandmother's happy. Maybe I can make other people happy with my performing or my performance. Before we end, I want to ask you one last question.
Sure.
Where do you see the future of you as a voice actress? Like, where do you want to go?
Is it cliched of me to say Disney?
No, it's great. Why would
that would be in a perfect world, right? That would be where I would go. I've have things like it's very specific. Like if they brought back the Emperor's New Groove, like that would be to me like
That's
great
super
because
dope.
it's rooted in Peru.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like now, but to be honest with you, like I want to do it all. I want to be a part of everything. And I'm just kind of waiting
Live action?
for the next one. I don't know. I feel like I've gone through a lot of also body image struggles as a kid, and doing live action again kind of scares me a bit.
Okay.
Not that I wouldn't be open to it, just would be selective on what I did, but I have recently thought about it, maybe to start doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I just moved to LA a few months ago, and just trying to get my
Why
bearings.
did you come here? Why did you move to LA?
For more opportunities,
For more work?
for voiceover. I had left the business, right, for 10 something years in my 20s.
You said you were working corporate.
And I was working corporate.
Why'd you leave the business though? What made you want to leave?
So after Dora, they recasted right when I was graduating from high school, so right before college. So in my mind, my next step was like, all right, let me go to college. I need to be the first in my family to do
First
that.
gen.
Yeah. So I made sure I did that. But while I was doing that, I was auditioning, taking classes, kind of wanting to do on camera. That was, to me, was my next step. I also don't like school, so I made sure I finished like a semester early. And tried to get all of that fast, done as quickly as possible. Also working at the mall, I don't know how I had the time to do all this stuff. But once I was done with school, I did come out to LA to find an LA agent because they didn't like cross paths as much back then. And they were like, okay, you have to move here though. And I don't think I was ready to move. And I don't think I really got the answers that I wanted to get. I don't know. I think just things weren't going my way and I kind of lost the passion for it.
Yeah.
I moved into the city, worked 3 jobs trying to get an on-camera something, and it just wasn't working. And I was like, I can't do this. I need to have stability in my life. And I started working on corporate. I started dating my husband. Then
How
we
long
got
you been
married.
married?
6.5 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank
You guys have kids?
No kids yet, but he's amazing. He's so supportive. Like even for him to just agree to move. I mean, he loves California. He always saw himself living here. So, but it's different when you have a partner who is
he
going
in
to
the
support
business?
you. No.
Okay.
Everyone tells him he should be because he's like louder than life. He's amazing. He's so, yeah. But he works in sports gambling.
Okay. Cool.
He does compliance. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm here. I'm open. I just want to be available and open to any opportunities that come my way. And also I need to get back into a practice schedule and really get down to all of that because that really is what matters. I started teaching some online classes through my friend Tara Strong's Voicelings community that she has online, which has been so fulfilling and great to be able to give back in that way, in a way that I didn't think that I would. And that's been so fun. But yeah, I'm also trying to enjoy life. I feel like a lot of my life has been on the go and doing this and doing that. And I want to appreciate this downtime, right, that I kind of have, or freedom, I guess, in my schedule. Because I don't want to take that for granted either. Because I think you get so focused on, I need to get the next thing, that you're not present. And I don't want to be that either.
I agree 100%.
You've talked about that. How you used to do Super Bowl and you didn't feel like you were there.
And it just, you're on the go that you don't realize. Take it in. Understand what's going on. Like what you said earlier, of the gravity of what is happening at the moment.
When you mean take it in, is it like you just find a moment before, during, or after Super Bowl where you go, let me just look around for a second, take a deep breath and absorb the energy? Or is it like, is it intentional? Like, what does it mean to?
So good question.
Because my grandmother was so influential for me as a performer, belief, knowing that if this is what I want to do, she was going to champion that. Taking the moment at the Super Bowl, like, Nanny, just something for myself. From your living room now, little Jimmy's at the Super Bowl, performing at the halftime show. Thank you. Like, give time to be just like absorbing, whether it's a thank you to my grandmother and just being like, wow, I'm at the Super Bowl. I'm the halftime show. A kid from East LA, Rosemead, representing on a big stage, singing the songs that I wrote with my band and just appreciating it. It was just like, okay, let's go. Right. And then, okay, now go to the hotel.
Yeah. I think the acknowledgement, right, of what's happening in that moment.
Acknowledge it and just swim in it a little more.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, take it in.
Yeah.
See what's happening. I went straight to the hotel, because I had my wife and my son, and my wife was pregnant.
So you just wanted to get back to the
I just wanted to get back to the hotel because I was like, okay, I don't want to move in this crowd. And it just became that. I wish I could have moved in the crowd a little bit. Yeah. And just saw, hey, what people were feeling.
Did you feel like there was pressure from her to kind of like go do your job, come back?
No, it wasn't pressure.
But I'm saying like maybe like not directly, but you just felt like I got to get back to them. She needs me.
I just felt like I needed to. When I got off stage, I was husband and dad.
Right. That's
so
what I'm
I
saying.
needed to focus on that.
Yeah.
As opposed to like take it in a little bit. You're good.
You can still do both.
You can still do both.
Yeah.
I didn't do both. I just went straight for just be dad, husband.
Yeah.
And I could have swam in this energy for a while.
A couple hours, yeah.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. And that's me maybe like, not realizing how to be present in that moment.
Yes.
And as I got older, as I've said to you and I mentioned on the show, being present is something that's valuable. And I've learned now in this state of my life that I appreciate these moments. I battled cancer in 2014. I wasn't supposed to be here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that I'm here doing this, giving people some sense of healing and some sense of therapeutic feeling, if it's nostalgia, it's that moment to connect. I think it's a blessing.
For sure.
And I'm glad you said practice, going back into practice mode because it comes back full circle.
Yes.
There's something that I wanted to say about, I've been asking you to do this show for a while now. And I'm very proud that I finally got you in LA.
I know, I'm sorry.
She was like, no. No, it was dope. It was
I was
dope.
like, I'm going to move there, I promise.
It was dope. She kept telling me like, yo, I'm in New York. Because I really, you were one of the first guests that I thought of.
Oh,
And
that's so crazy to me.
I think I told you this, right?
Yeah.
B?
No, we were all in that group text months ago.
Yeah.
We were trying to lock it down because of the
She's
fact.
too big time,
No.
The fact that we did the show together.
Yeah.
And what you represent to, like, again, me as a girl dad, but also to community and to other kids.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That story needs to be told.
Yeah.
How would your character and her character interact if you guys had to do a show together?
It would have to be like a multiverse situation.
Yeah.
Where like he went back in time
Yeah.
to go to a different Dora, I think.
Can we improv something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's improv. It'd be fun. I mean, you're both pros.
Hi, I'm Dora. What's your name?
I'm Quickatoo. Quickatoo. Where's Quickatina?
Quickatina? Who's Quickatina?
Quickatina's my daughter. And we sing Melodia, dame tu melodia, mi melodia. Would you like to sing with me?
I would love to sing with you. Do you want to sing with me and Quickatoo to find Quickatina?
There
That was great. That was good.
On that, we say thank you to
Yay.
Kathleen. Give it
Thank
up
you.
for
Thank
Kathleen
you so much.
Herles.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's right, y'all. It's Taboo Nawasha, and I hope you enjoyed geeking out with me and going straight into geek mode. For more information, for more videos, subscribe, like, and comment. Share it with your friends. Much love. There it is.